Schönen guten Tag, meine Damen und Herren. Herzlich willkommen zum XP Network Spotlight Livestream. Ich bin Jason Hransky, CEO von XP Network und freue mich sehr, dass ihr heute alle dabei seid. Heute haben wir einen ganz besonderen Gast, Jan Wagner von Ulisses Spiele. Jan, super, dass du hier bist.
Einen schönen guten Abend oder guten Tag oder guten Morgen, je nachdem, in welcher Zeitzone ihr gerade seid.
Genau. Für alle Zuschauer heute, wenn ihr den QR-Code auf dem Bildschirm scannt, bekommt ihr 50 Bonus-XP. Also direkt mitmachen. Und bleibt zum Ende. Es gibt noch 500 Bonus-XP zu gewinnen. And for all the Americans and everyone else watching, this is a bilingual stream. We're doing German because Jan is at Essen. And we'll be doing English. So I'm going to say everything again. Welcome to the XP Network Spotlight live stream. This is Ulisses Spiele's live stream. We are here, and Jan is at Essen Spiel, Spielmesse Essen, whatever you want to call it. Awesome trade show, biggest one in Germany, I believe. And
yeah,
we are
biggest board game show.
Yeah, we are launching the English show here for the U.S. market. We're going to do another live stream in German next year. And push the product over there. But this is XP Network. If you are not familiar with XP Network, we give out XP for your favorite publishers and for the XP Network store. So be sure to sign in. Don't forget to scan the QR code on the screen right now. You'll get your bonus 50 XP for participating. If you don't know what XP Network is, we are linked with Shopify and Stripe. We partner with publishers like Ulisses Spiele and many others, as you'll see on our website. And we partner with your retail stores and your organized play. So you can do your tournaments. You can collect XP for live events, for playing games, for playing in tournaments. Anything you want to do in gaming, we give you experience points for your experience. You can also in the future get XP for shopping on our publisher Shopify stores. So don't forget to use those points. I'm going to say this one more time in German, and then we're going to probably stay in English at this point. Also, was ist eigentlich XP Network? XP bedeutet Erfahrungspunkte. Und bei uns bekommt ihr XP für alles, was ihr liebt. Spielen, Events besuchen, Turniere mitmachen oder sogar beim Einkauf in Partnershops. Wir sind komplett mit Shopify und Stripe verbunden. Das heißt, ihr könnt XP bei uns im Shop ausgeben. Und unser Spiel Pong of Champions gibt es im Apple App Store. Einfach runterladen, spielen und direkt XP verdienen. Die Punkte werden automatisch in eurem XP profile verbunden. That means you guys missed that. XP Network also has a video game in the App Store on Apple. Don't forget to download Pong of Champions. You can get XP directly from the game for just playing. We do have a one-on-one mode. It's kind of like a fighting game mixed with a carnival game. It's water pong, beer pong, whatever you want to call it. But you do damage to each other by throwing balls in each other's cups, and you earn XP that way. In the future, we'll be linking other games into this. So let's go ahead and start with Jan. Who are you? What do you do? Tell us about Ulisses Spiele.
Yeah, good morning to the US side, North American viewers, to the people in Germany. So I am I'm doing several things at Ulisses. I'm head of digital, which is why I'm coming to this newfangled digital technologies. I'm also doing the marketing parts, and I'm doing my own board game actually that is published with Ulisses, which is the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, which is an old choose-your-own adventure books that we do. Ulisses Spiele is the largest German RPG publisher, so we're specializing in RPGs. The most well-known is probably Das Schwarze Auge or the Dark Eye, which is kind of like it's kind of like the German D&D, so to speak. So we're kind of as large as D&D is in Germany. We're kind of as large as that. But we also do a lot of other games. Hexen, which is kind of a horror game. We've got Schwarze Katz, which is anthropomorphic adventure game, and we are now doing board games as well. So there's a recent push. Can't see much of it, but I'm going to show you because we're live at the fair here. We're already packed up, but this is our board game. So we've got a bunch of board games that we are selling, and actually most of them almost sold out already. So if you're coming on to Essen on Saturday, be sure to go early to our booth, because if you want to grab anything, there's not a lot left. Yeah, so that's Ulisses, and we have the Spiel. Yeah.
You're giving out Ulisses bucks, right?
Exactly. So yeah, if you come here, you can actually scan we've got a code that you can scan on all of our things. There's XP network code. And if you scan that and get experience points, you also get Ulisses bucks, and those you can use to actually buy those games. So come by, drop in on Saturday. If you have to, you can already come on Sunday, but I'm not sure we're going to have many boxes left for you at that point.
That's awesome. Das Schwarze Auge is the first RPG I ever played when I lived in Germany. I love the game. It was 2005, 2006. I bought it at a bookstore, and got all of my friends from my Gastfamilie, my host family there to play. I wasn't on a school exchange. It was a congressional exchange with the Bundestag. So learned German, obviously.
You had a little more time.
Yeah, learned German, played some games there, played some hockey in Germany. So love Germany. Love your game. Fun fact, I believe it's the biggest RPG in Germany. Is that right?
Yeah, it's the biggest RPG in Germany, and it's actually in terms of sheer volume of books. So it's also one of the oldest RPGs, so it's 40 years old by now. And it's into its 5th edition. And we have over 400 books, role-playing books, adventures, novels, what have you, audiobooks in the thing. So it's a gigantic world because it's actually been building a consistent world since 40 years ago. So there's so much history to dive into if you want to. And I always say, like, there's no village that somebody hasn't been to that's already somewhere. So whatever you need, whatever information you need, there's just such a rich tapestry of history there. So it's really awesome to play because it really feels like a world, like it's a living world, because it has been living for 40 years, and there's thousands and thousands of pages of lore if you want to dive into it.
Definitely an awesome game. It's crazy that it's I think it's the only country that has an RPG bigger than D&D in volume, which is super impressive. A lot of people don't know that, but it's a big game. If you haven't played it, do you have an English version?
There's an English version called The Dark Eye that you can actually order in the US as well. So we've got printed versions, and we have VTT versions. So if you want to play it in digital, then it's available on Foundry as well as on Roll20.
I highly recommend it. So that's what I'm the most familiar with. So tell us a little bit about your other games.
So I think the second most popular game from our own stable. So we also do stuff we do German versions, for example, for Paizo, so the Pathfinder stuff. We do Warhammer as well. So a lot of the larger international games are available in German to us. But our internal second largest system is Hexen, which is a kind of a horror zombie slasher game in the 17th century Europe, or 18th century Europe. So you're playing Hexenjäger, witch hunters. And the world, the assumption is during the 30 Years' War in Europe, a gate to hell, a literal gate to hell has been opened, and demons and devils streamed out of it, took over parts of the land. So you have an alternate history kind of scenario. What if in the 18th century, when inventions were just starting, the Age of Reason was starting, what if actual demons from hell stalked the earth, and all the nightmares and all the fairy creatures that you know from the tales of the Brothers Grimm, for example, they all become reality. And now you are the guys, essentially part of an elite troop that is tasked with fighting those apparitions and fighting those creatures. The North Sea has been raised by water witches to house the Leviathan. So the North Sea has flooded parts of land. So even the geography has changed somewhat, but it's an old history, and it's a really nice game. It's a very group-oriented game. So there's a lot of helping each other. So it's a different concept in terms of the characters. If you play D&D or play Das Schwarze Auge, every character kind of stands for himself. And in Hexen, you really have to work together as a team. So a lot of your abilities are about helping the other guys. There's a guy whose main thing is, you know that from video games, is a tank. So you can draw enemies to him and take power damages, and somebody else can buff him. So there's a lot of game strategy in it as well. So I personally really like that. It's a little faster than Das Schwarze Auge, and I really love the setting because it's actual history mixed with all kinds of weird fairy tale shit, and a lot of horror. So it's a really good game. This one actually we're planning to do an English version on next year. So there's going to be a crowdfunding for a German English version for a new edition of that. We'll see when exactly, and then we'll announce something down the line. But it's definitely something that we want to bring to the English-speaking market.
And this one's also an RPG?
It's an RPG. we are mostly specializing on RPG, and then the third RPG that we have, which doesn't have an English translation yet, unfortunately, is Die Schwarze Katz, which is we're playing anthropomorphic cats in the world of the Dark Eye, but the humans don't know that you can actually walk and talk and use swords and everything. But there's kind of a secret cat society. What they do stuff when the humans aren't looking. So that's a nice game for the whole family. It's a little more lighthearted, but it's great fun as well. And yeah, then we're doing board games. So I think the most famous one is called Aventuria, which is again based on the world of the Dark Eye. So a lot of the background and the lore comes from that. And it's a adventure It's a card game, but not a collectible card game. It's an adventure card game. So you play cooperatively and you play through scenarios. And essentially, it's a card battler that you have to use to go through a sequence of adventures. In between, there are decisions that you make, like in an RPG, where you've got backgrounds and things that you need to do. And then your heroes also collect cards, item cards, and grow over time. So it's kind of an RPG in card format, but because it's a specifically came actually from a competitive card game, so it's specifically a card battler. There's a lot of like more direct action happening, and that is available. It's actually been crowdfunded this year. For us, was the most successful crowdfunding that we ever did. So it was around about $700,000, $800,000 or so,
nice.
And that's available in English and in German. And that's our first international board game product.
That's fantastic. That's a really good Kickstarter for a board game. Are there minis in the game?
They aren't, because it's a card game. There's a lot of cards. Let me see. I'm at the fair here, so I can try and show you.
Yeah, and anyone, if you want to show around your booth, this is like a cool opportunity we don't usually get with our guests, like live at the show.
So this is our board game. This is our role-playing game section, and you can see there's a lot of Dark Eye stuff. So there's a lot of books. Like if you want to go to Dark Eye, you can go deep.
Can you zoom in on one of those books just so the fans can see here in America and around the world watching for the English version?
So this is kind of the reprint of the old version. So we've got the first edition stuff. We're bringing back in again. This is Hexen, as mentioned. And then we've got a lot of the Dark Eye stuff here. So this is.
I love that classic art you had on the Schwarze Auge.
Yeah, that's like the. Take that in here. That's like one of the typical Dark Eye like style. So it's a specific art style that we have, and that's the world or part of the world you can see here. That's one of the beginner's box. That's actually available in English as well. And then these are some of the Dark Eye books that are available.
Quite the collection there.
There is a bunch of stuff you can get. Yeah, so that's this. This is our boss. These are the people working at the booth.
That's so cool.
Remember, the fair's just closed, so we've already packed up a little, just hanging around in the afterglow of what we're doing.
So normally we do a Q&A here, but it's 10 in the morning, so I don't know if we have a lot of live viewers. We'll probably see more people in the recorded show.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get to answer some of that. But if I get a question, I'll read it out loud. Otherwise, how's it going at Essen?
It's mad. I mean, Essen, if people know Gen Con and they think that's large, this is like 3 times the size. Like they're this morning when the gates open, the people actually storm in. So everybody's running to get there. So they're queuing for Magic cards. But all the major publishers here for RPGs. We've got a lot of large and small board game publishers. So Essen originally is a board game fair, and there's like so many board games. And the great thing about it is there's really large guys. There's large companies, Asmodee and Ravensburger, and there's Konami and all that. There's also a lot of small indies with really, really nice, unique games that are really special. So it's a very mixed thing where you can find there's something for everybody here, and people are playing the games. So there's a huge amount of tables. You can check out the games, you can go in, and because it's board games, it's all nerds, obviously, right? So So you feel right at home amongst your own people here, and it's really nice. It's a good atmosphere, and it's always every day now is currently booked out. So they always reach a maximum capacity, and for the 4 straight days that the fair goes, each of those days has been booked out. So from the morning, so I've been demoing my game for the last 10 hours now.
Oh man,
which is why my voice is sometimes a little cracking. But we have demo slots like every half hour. So I've demoed like 20 games today, or 20 versions of the game, and it's really nice because people get feedback directly. So I love that you can see how people play your game. I'm actually life balancing stuff, so I go like, oh, okay, I didn't realize you could do this in my game. Right, so we need to change that number, and it's next time I play with a different number. So that's like a live beta test as well, which I really enjoy, and you get the feedback from the people, and so far they seem to like it. So we've got full tables. So we started out this year. So this bunch of boxes that was actually like 2 meters high. So we've sold about, I'm guessing, 1.5 meters of boxes. So people seem to enjoy what we're doing.
That's awesome. Yeah, what a great show. I usually go to Essen, so it's kind of funny that I'm not there, but now that I'm not publishing, the tech world doesn't require me at all the shows. I know John Grams is there, so that's kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of people. Like, there's a lot of designers. Eric M. Lang, I just ran into him.
Oh wow.
So almost everybody, like Rainer Kizia, so the guy who Event Catan, everybody's here. So you meet those people.
I heard the average family of 4 spends €1,000 at Essen every year, and which is awesome. And one thing that's really different from Essen to like a Gen Con is there's not really much play area. It's almost all booths. It's like I would say 4 times, maybe 5 times as many booths as Gen Con. Yeah. So if you really want to see everything that's new, that is the show to go to, because you will see everything. You're not going to miss anything out there. Really cool show. And I got a question for you from the chat.
Yeah.
How is Essen in comparison to past years? So how is it doing this year? It sounds like it's sold out. So
it's going well. So I think during Corona or during COVID, there was a little bit of a downturn. And then last year, actually, the guys that do the Nürnberger Spielwarenmesse, so a larger company that organizes trade fairs for the business parts, they took over Essen, and they, I don't want to say they professionalized it, but they gave it an extra push. So it's definitely, it's better, more publishing around it, there's more advertising around it. And so we see that the in general, I think the atmosphere compared to, for example, video games, where everybody's kind of a bit on a downer currently, everybody's quite happy with what they're doing. So we see a lot of, like, there's business, you can sell at the booth, which also helps. I think I haven't, like, I've seen booths getting larger. So I've seen a lot of new companies with relatively large presence, and that's usually a sign either of an overheating or a really healthy industry. So I believe it's a healthy industry. I prefer to believe that. And in general, there's a couple of games. There's always like some games that are hyped up where nobody really knows, how that came to be, but they're like the hot shit at Essen. And we had one game where, from Spanish publisher, they brought 600 copies, because that's kind of what they expected to sell. And at the first day of the fair, 800 people queued for those.
Oh no!
So there were 800 people queuing for this one game. So they limited it to 150 per day. So there's a maximum, because otherwise they sold out at day 1. And that tells you that there's just so much enthusiasm for it. So that's really
fantastic.
Great. So
you never know who's going to have that like crazy. Every
they didn't know either.
Crazy line for something.
Yeah. They were like, we don't know why that happened, but we'll take it.
So our next question is kind of on that same note. What is the most popular item at the Ulisses Spiele booth so far?
I think it's actually Heldenqueste is what it's called. Yeah. So we've got the new board game line, which is in Germany. There's a separate brand for it, which is called Otavio. And the Otavio brand, for the first time, presented at Essen with all the new board games we have. And the one that sells the most is Heldenqueste, it's called. That's actually based on the Hexen RPG. So it's based in that world, and it's kind of a choose your own adventure with card play and a little bit of story. So it's a mix between a card battle and a story, similar to Aventuria, but a little easier, more streamlined. Cool. And let me just grab that and show it to you. So it comes in a neat box, not too large, so it doesn't have a huge table presence. And yeah, that's been selling like hotcakes actually. So for us, that's I think the most successful one. And the other one is Backstep Heroes. That's just a fun trick-taking game where you need to, like, everybody's a hero, but and you have to fight monsters, but you always want to be the last in line, so the other guys get to actually beat up by the monster, and you can then take the treasure. So everybody's backstabbing each other, which is what it's called Backstep Heroes. Both of those have been going really well, and people have been playing it with their families. So they seem to be doing well.
That's awesome. Yeah, what a fun show. I don't want to take up too much time. I know you're closed up already. So
yeah, we're closing up.
We're going to go into the wheel. We're doing a wheel spin. So this is a great time to be in the live stream when we do a 10 a.m. Pacific time stream. That means not a lot of competition for the 500 bonus XP. So while we're talking, be sure to scan and sign up for that so you can be entered into the wheel. We'll give you a few minutes to sign up. In the meantime, I'm going to remind everybody to become an organizer with Ulisses Spiele. If you want to do organized play, we're setting that up for next year together as partners. Yep. Also, be sure to sign up as a retailer or publisher partner if you're a publisher with XP Network, and we will promote you just like we're doing today with Ulisses Spiele. So XP team, if you have any more questions, it looks like there's one more. Curious to hear Jan's favorite tips on how to best demo games to new players. Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, so what I do is I only explain the rule they need for the absolute next turn. So I can explain Warlock or Fight Up Mountain in 2 minutes because you only get the 2 rules that you need to start. And then whenever a situation occurs, you explain the rule that situation needs. So you don't have to remember all of the shit in 5-10 minutes of explanation. The other trick, and that's a dirty trick that every demo guy uses, you stack the decks. So I know in advance what will happen, and I use the cards and put them in an order so I can make sure that it comes when it's supposed to come.
Let's go.
It's a little bit of cheating, but it's making making for much more fluent presentation. So if you ever go to SN and you get any game, usually it's specifically set up to demo, so it's faster than it would be if you played at home. But yeah, that's the 2 things I do. Only explain what you need to explain, stack the decks so you can be sure that the situations that you want to happen.
Yep, that's exactly right. I've done a lot of demos in my day, started with doing a lot of Warhammer demos. And in Warhammer, I would even be theatrical about every single combat. I'm like, oh, he just barely missed through the armor and blah, blah, blah. It'd be,
and you need really to bring the energy. Yeah, absolutely. That's another, the good demo will always make you enjoy the feeling. Like, of course, you want to enjoy the game as well, but it needs to be an experience. So XP Network, you need to experience there as well. And that's of course part of the con. You need to bring the energy to the table and really make it fun. But the good thing about our games is most of them are story based, so there's always some drama and some interesting thing happening. So a lot of the time, the dramatic things come from the players themselves, where they go like, "Oh no, how could I miss that?" So there's a lot of situations where they bring that energy as well. So that's part of
for RPGs. I love RPGs. They're one of my favorite. Storytelling is just great. So even when I play other games, I'll usually do kind of a mini RPG in my game. Board games can do that really well. Some card games can do it. And as an RPG company, I'm going to kind of hint towards something for next year. But the achievements you receive as a user on XP Network, we are testing right now a way to put RPG upgrades for organized play on the achievements themselves. So when you go to organized play for Das Schwarze Auge, the Dark Eye, or any other RPG, you can actually earn organized play upgrades like weapons and spells and things like that have the rules in your achievement on your profile, which shows that you're actually in the organized play, which has been a hard thing to accomplish for RPGs in the past. Like a lot of them have tried, how do I keep stacking my character for organized play versus my normal game group and get extra experience and whatever. I mean, XP is perfect for RPGs, to be honest.
Absolutely. No, it's a great mechanism, and it also helps us because we are like the organized play in Germany isn't as strong because of all logistical differences, and this will enable us to do a lot more interesting stuff with more consistency, and we have a lot of events over the time where people can repeatedly come, continue to play, and bring the character from their XP network. So that's going to be a real boon for us.
Yeah, we definitely encourage players to get out and play the games. Go play with your local game group, but also play at a game store. Go to Essen, go to any convention. Real life human interaction is so important. That's why that's the number one thing we reward. Everybody can go buy, a Starbucks coffee and get your points and maybe get a discount one day. That's so impersonal compared to let's go play a game face to face and get experience just for doing something we were going to have fun doing anyway, and then get rewarded with organized play, which is fantastic. But I think we've given the fans enough time to scan in. This is your final warning. We're about to spin the wheel. So here in chat, tell me when you guys have that wheel up, and then I'll go ahead and say go, and then we'll announce our lucky winner for today. All right, it sounds like we are good to go. So let's go ahead and let it rip and see who wins the 500 bonus XP. I can't see the screen, so I'm assuming there's some sort of ding, 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 ding.
To make the noise.
Okay, so our lucky winner today is Avalo Gaming. So congratulations, you got 500 bonus XP. Your XP can be used in the future Ulisses Spiele store or on XP Network right now while we're waiting for that to roll out, probably next year for the full German and American rollout. So stay tuned. And I think that's going to be it. Any final words before we let everybody go and well-needed rest?
Welcome to Essen. If you want to drop by the booth, I'm going to be there. If you want to ask me more questions, just do it in person.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Vielen, vielen Dank zusammen. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye, everybody. And Jan, thank you so much.
Absolutely welcome. Pleasure.